Hey everybody, and welcome to this week's video. Do you feel you're in a photography rut and aren't growing or expanding your craft? In this video, I'm going to share what I think is the best technique to expand your photography horizons and improve the quality of your photos. And that's to take a break in your favorite subjects, techniques, and equipment and take on a new set of challenges. And I know it works because that's what I did, allowing me to go from this to this. Stay for my bonus tip, which will really exercise your photography brain. My name is Simon D'Entremont, and I'm a professional nature and wildlife photographer living in Eastern Canada. I make weekly videos giving you photo tips or taking you behind the scenes for nature and wildlife photography. Subscribe if you want to see more. Have you ever heard of the expression, when your only tool is a hammer, everything looks like a nail? This is a form of cognitive bias, which is an over-reliance on a familiar tool or technique. Photography is no different. When we're out taking photos, we rely on the same tricks and techniques that have proven valuable to us in our favorite genre. But if you keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep getting what you've been getting. But the problem with familiarity is it leads to a lack in innovation. So the trick here is to learn new tricks in another genre and then take them back to your favorite genre and apply so that you can shoot your favorite subject with a newly developed style or eye. So here are 4 techniques that you can use to get out of your rut and into a whole new perspective on your work. The first tip is to use a different aperture than your usual. Now this may seem like a totally random and less than helpful tip, but I think it's critical in changing how you take your photos. In short, if you're used to shooting a small aperture and a deep depth of field, open up that aperture and isolate your subject. This would be a tip for landscape photographers, for example, who always shoot at f8 or f9 to get the whole scene in focus. This applies to 90% of us who shoot landscapes, by the way. Open up that aperture and isolate your subject, leaving the background as a kind of accompaniment, like in these shots. It will really change how you see your scene and the role of the subject in the photo. Landscapes don't need to be of the whole scene. The opposite is just as true. For those of us who shoot wide open 99% of the time with fast lenses to get that ultra smooth background, it's time to stop that lens down and add more to the scene. Wide open apertures can sometimes be a crutch, over-relying on a great subject to make the shot. Including more environment allows us to add more elements to the photograph and makes us be way more aware of the world around our subject and ourselves, leading to being way more observant of the world. I think this develops a whole new eye and perspective. The next trick to get out of our normal modus operandi is to shoot a different genre. That's right, get better at what you usually shoot by not shooting what you usually shoot. What? Now how do I know this works? Because I did it myself. I was photographing mostly birds and discovered what I thought was a gift. Fast lenses, bird on a branch, and a clean background. Great! So I took some shots of this setup, over and over and over. The next thing you know, all my photos look the same. Boas. Bird on a stick, bird on a stick, bird on a stick. I thought to myself, I have to get out of this rut. I need a new skill to bring into my bird photography. Now, what other type of photography out there uses more sophisticated techniques in photography, I thought? Composition, leading lines, patterns, light. Landscape photographers do. And I'm always out in nature. So I bought myself this lens used, $400, the Canon 17-40 f4L lens, and I started shooting landscapes. And you know what happened? I learned new skills and brought them back into my wildlife photography. How to shoot into the sun, how to use simple compositions for black and white, how to include more of the environment in my photos, how to look for patterns in nature and use them in my wildlife photography. And you know what? My wildlife photos are way better for it. I think pet and portrait photographers would be in exactly the same boat. And you know one of the best ways to get into a new genre like landscape photography? It's to look at, study, and learn from experts in that field. And that's where the sponsor of this video comes in, Elements magazine. I was honored they'd asked me to partner on a video because this magazine is just amazing in its quality and what it does for me when I read it. That's because one of the hardest things to figure out in a new genre is inspiration. We're often limited by our past experiences, and a new type of photography leaves us not knowing where to start. Elements is a landscape magazine and is just so elegant and well put together and can teach you tons. It has a series by Rachel Talabart and another by Jim Becchia, and exclusive interviews with Michael Kenna, Hans Strand, and more. Nothing like talking to the experts. Special editions like image processing, black and white, printing, and fall photography too. This online magazine publishes both avant-garde and timeless photos that make me want to get out more, all professionally edited and curated. What I really want to get into more of is black and white in my wildlife photography, and looking at the black and white landscape work of the masters is what's going to help me get to the next level. Get your subscription to Elements Magazine today and use code SIMON15 for 15% off an annual subscription. The next trick to get out of your comfort zone and start learning is to change your focal length. Like changing your aperture, you may think, what will this do? Well, two things happen when you change your focal length. First, the world looks very different at 50 millimeters than 500, or at 14 millimeters versus 30. It really makes you more observant of your scenery in the world around you. When you have a 500 millimeter lens like in wildlife and sports, you actually end up not caring much what's on the right and the left. But that means after a while you don't notice either. Your observing skills get hyper-focused on what's right in front of you. On the other hand, if you're looking at a big wide scene all the time, you're probably not seeing the fine details that can make a great picture in a small micro way. Like macro shots of a spider, a mushroom, a flower. So change up your focal lengths and you'll change up your view of the world. If you're a landscape photographer, do what Thomas Heaton and I did when we went out in Svalbard. We went on a photo challenge walk with 100 to 400 millimeter lenses each and looked for shots with these long lenses. That forced us to look for small details or far into the distance for patterns and scenes. So get out there with a new focal length and start retraining your brain on what to look for. Hey, just a quick heads up that I just launched a new course. My first course was on taking your wildlife photography to the next level. This one is to take your post-processing of wildlife photos there. 10 hours in 29 modules in processing your wildlife photos in Lightroom Classic to take your photos from this to this. Link below. My fourth tip for breaking out of your shackles of familiarity is to shoot with 1 prime lens for a week. Now what does this do? Well, it makes you zoom with your feet. Forcing yourself to move around to get the framing you want is an amazing technique in photography to have you see new angles, perspectives, and photo opportunities. The pinch zoom of a phone or zooming with your lens are nice and easy, but don't add much to creativity and probably take away from it. Why? Because you can just stand there and get the framing you want with little forethought. Now, while this can be great when you can't move or to make your life easy, zooming with your feet will force you to look around and explore more of the space given to you. Like the great Ansel Adams once said about the secret to his beautiful photos, knowing where to stand. Maybe partly behind a bush for that shot, or looking down or looking up, or maybe forcing things into perspectives that you want. This comes from changing your angle of view or moving to the one perfect place which having a fixed focal length prime lens forces you to do. And finally, one of the most transformative ways to train your photography brain to find new ways to shoot is to do it in black and white. This is because you need to stop looking for color to make the shot, and you'll soon find out that some photos don't work in monochrome. First, scenes with no dynamic range just look flat in black and white. You want contrasty scenes with bright lights and dark darks. Secondly, complex scenes don't seem to work well in black and white either. Without the color to separate the pieces, it's just chaos. Look for simplicity and shapes and patterns that stand out and are recognizable. And how do you force yourself to think in black and white? Turn your camera's picture profile into monochrome. If you'd like to learn more about processing photos for impact, I have a whole playlist on image processing, which you can see right here. Give me a follow on social media for more tips, and if this video is deserving, give it a like. I hope you can use these tips to go out your very next outing and take your own unique and amazing photos. I know you can do it.